Right, in the previous video you were shown how to do a simple translate or movement animation. In this one you're going to be shown how to do a simple fade in, fade out animation. I'm just going to go ahead and hide this layer, this dog layer. I've called it dog translate just so it's very clear what it is. I'm going to create a new layer and I'm going to call this dog fade. Oops. There we go, and I'm just going to lock this layer as well. So dog fade is selected, that's the layer I'm going to be working with. I'll click on the first frame, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the dog symbol in again because you can reuse the same symbol. For this one, I'm just going to downsize it a little bit further. This one's just going to be here. Right, okay, so this is how you would do the fade. So this dog is in this keyframe at the moment. I want it to fade in, and I want it to take 20 frames to do that. So that's why I've put in a keyframe there. So I pressed F6, remember that's a shortcut, or again, right click, insert keyframe. Then what you do is you right click. You can do this either way, but let me just do it this way. You go ahead and right click and create classic tween. So at the moment, again, nothing's happened. I haven't moved it, but for this one, I'm not going to move. I'm only going to fade. So I'm going to click on the first frame for this dog. I'm going to click on the dog itself. And then when you go to properties, you see this option appear. It's called color effect. What you're going to do is pick the alpha channel, and the alpha channel is basically the see-throughness. So you pick that, and I'm going to set the see-throughness to 0%, so you can't see it. So if I just move the slider now, you will see that it fades in. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go to frame 40 and insert a keyframe there and just have it stay there. Then I'm going to have it fade out again here, F6. So again, you can do it either way, but let's just do it this way just so we've got a pattern going. Create classic tween. So from this point 40 to this point 60, I want it to fade out again. So you click on the frame 60 because that's the point where you want it to fade out. You've got to click on the frame, and sometimes this doesn't show up in properties, so you've got to click on the dog and then it will show. So remember, alpha at that point is going to 0. So at the moment it's doing this, fade in, fade out. It's just gone, and I can get it to fade in again. I'll just do it up to that point. I know it's not 20 frames later, but whatever, let's just do it. So at that point I want this to be 100%, and I haven't done the frame, so this is what I was talking about. You can do it the other way around. So let's just do that classic tween. It's doing something different, but whatever, I'm just demonstrating fading in, fading out to you. So there you go, it comes in, goes out, and quickly comes in again. Okay, if for whatever reason you can see that you've messed up or whatever, and you want to redo it, you can always just remove tween, and then you can redo things. You can always use Control Z. Unlike Photoshop, in Flash you can Control Z and it does multiple times. You don't have to worry about Control Alt Z. So you can go ahead and play with that. If for whatever reason you wanted this to pulse, so like fade in, fade in and then stay, and then fade out and then stay, and you can get to fade in again. So if you want the stay bit again, then you know that you have to insert a keyframe, like however many frames later. So let's just do 20, and this might have to go to 100. So this is where the tween will happen of fading in again. So at this point it's invisible, and at this point it's showing. So remember, you click the frame, you click the symbol, you switch to alpha, and then you change it to 0 or 100, whichever one. Sometimes it automatically sets itself to 0, so you've got to be careful as to what's going on, but just take it like keyframe by keyframe and then you should be alright. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now we've got this happening, fade in, stay, fade out, stays faded out, fades in again. Okay, so that's just an example of how you could apply fade, so you should be comfortable with that. Remember, it's the alpha channel that does all the work. So you click on the frame, you click on the actual symbol, and you go ahead and set to 0 or 50 or 100 or whatever it is you're trying to do. But normally, obviously, because it's a fade in, you go from 0 to 100, and when it's a fade out, you go from 100 to 0. Right, so now you should be able to do fade.